Hi, I'm going to, as you said, be talking to you tonight about how you can use crafts to cope with almost any ill, from depression and anxiety to physical pain to just the stresses of everyday life. I'd like to see a show of hands. Who here has ever turned to a craft project after a long, difficult day or when you just weren't feeling well? Exactly. This is something that we already know intuitively, that our crafts make us feel better. My personal journey with crafts and healing began in 2010, when I was dealing with both depression and unemployment. I'm pretty sure that the only reason I survived that double whammy was this website. Specifically, their Craft Swaps forum, where I was able to connect with other people and craft for them, and they crafted for me. Now, why did that help me? In part, it was because I was connecting to other people, and that's very healing. In part, it was because I was able to anticipate getting something in the mail other than bills and junk mail. But really, the heart of it was the crafting. It was being able to pick a project and see it through to completion. It gave me a renewed sense of confidence and effectiveness, which is something that it's very easy to lose track of when you're in a dark or difficult place. There's actually a lot of research right now, specifically on how knitting actually has demonstrated healing effects. It's going on both here and in the UK. There's a really cool group called Stitch Links that I'm in love with that I can tell you about afterwards. And there are a lot of different explanations for why knitting might be healing. One of them is that knitting apparently has a very similar impact on the brain to meditation, except that while meditation can be very difficult for a lot of people to learn, knitting isn't really. And those meditative healing qualities, those aren't something that you have to get special. You don't have to do anything special with your knitting for those to come up. Just sitting down with your yarn gives you those effects. Another really great healing benefit of knitting is community. So many people knit as part of knitting groups and other groups. So you're able to get out of the house and meet other people. And if you have any sort of social anxiety, that also makes it a lot easier because now you have something in common with these people and something to talk about. Knitting also is a really great way to get yourself distracted from the negative thoughts that it's so easy to get wrapped up in when you're feeling low. And as I mentioned before, knitting is a really good way of getting that sense of confidence and effectiveness back. That's something that people really lose track of when they're going through a rough time, and getting it back really, really helps. Now, as I said, most of the research is on knitting, but I think it's safe to assume that a lot of these healing benefits can be gotten from other crafts as well. You know, knitting is really great, but it's not magical, it's not completely unique in that way. For instance, I'm pretty sure that any craft is going to serve as a distraction from the negative thought spirals that you can get sucked into. Any craft is going to allow you to see a project through to completion and get that sort of confidence back. And I think especially somewhere like Cambridge and Boston, it's going to be really hard to find a craft that other people don't do as well, so you can get that community aspect. Now, what does that mean for you? How can you go home tonight and experience the wonderful healing powers of crafting? Well, by crafting. If you don't already have a craft that you do, I think you're going to be getting some really great ideas tonight. If you walk out of here not inspired to craft, then it's probably just not your thing. If you do have crafts that you do, just sit down and do them. You know, there are things that you can do to maybe tailor your crafting to what you need in the moment to heal, but you don't have to. You really can just sit down and knit or crochet or spin or weave or whatever. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions about how you can maybe talk a loved one into taking up a craft for their own good, I would love to talk to you afterwards. Thanks so much.